Hey y'all, we are back in Pink Library, and there are a couple of things I wanted to share with you. First of all, for the last few years, I've been giving myself a theme every year, and here in 2025, I started doing something a little bit differently where I've been giving myself a theme every season. And I like this, and I think I'll probably end up sticking with it. As we move into autumn here at the end of the week, I think that my new theme is going to be I was talking to Emma about this. I called it Always Be Writing. I want to be constantly writing, in the process of writing or doing something that will support the writing. I want to be in a cozy creative space with my camera, with my laptop, my notebooks. But the other thing that I want to do this autumn is spend time with people in my community. I was reading The Power of Ritual recently, a book by Casper Ter I'm not sure about this last name. He was talking about how loneliness is now classified as an epidemic. And he was talking about how loneliness or isolation is now considered more dangerous to a person's health and longevity than even smoking or obesity. Yeah, it says social isolation is more harmful to our health than smoking 15 cigarettes a day or being obese. Holt Lundstedt concludes in her 2018 American Psychologist paper that there are perhaps no facets that can have such a large impact on both length and quality of life from the cradle to the grave as social connection. I know I was reading Alex Wolf, the author of Resonate. She was saying that your quality of relationships directly influences your quality of life. And I remember reading that and immediately starting to take stock of my relationships and to consider which ones were quality and which ones were not. I will say that after I read about loneliness and social isolation being considered an epidemic since 2018, I immediately called some of the local people that I've connected with over the last couple of years. Ashley from the Ashe Shop, Taja Nicole from Ann and Anthony's Apothecary. I also knew her when she was working down in the French Quarter. Her friend Vanessa Earth from P.S. Love Jolie, and Gabby. Gabby is a local doula, birth doula, and also is in the medical field. And I met her when I was out to Congregation Coffee, the one in Algiers, and we became fast friends. And I invited all of them out to dinner. Originally, I reached out and I said, hey, let's have dinner on Friday. And Gabby was like, I won't be back in town until Saturday afternoon. I said, we'll change it to Saturday. And she's like, I'm so grateful to you for accommodating me. Of course, I'm going to accommodate my friend. So I switched it to Saturday. All of the women confirmed. Ashley and Earth know each other. Vanessa and Taja Nicole know each other. I actually know Vanessa through Taja Nicole. So a lot of them are going to be meeting each other for the first time, and that's perfectly fine with me. So it's going to be 6 of us. We're going to have a Black Lady Equinox dinner party. And it's going to be a good time. And I'm excited about it. So I was immediately like, sometimes you just have to be the person in your life who reaches out. Like, you have to be the one who reaches out, invites people, places, asks them to come and spend time with you, who comes up with, various ideas. Yesterday on Monday, I decided to go to Writing Club, and Writing Club ended up being at a library in the Upper Ninth Ward. And I called Ashley, and I wanted to know if she wanted to come with me. And she said, what is it? So it's her Writing Club. We're going to sit down together and write. She said, say less. I will absolutely come. I'm at the library with Ashley from Ashe Shop. We just did a shut up and write with this guy that was here. So that was wonderful. I was really excited about it. And now we about to go. See library.
This is amazing.
So we ended up going to the library. When we go into the library, we actually meet a Black woman librarian who is like, I know y'all. She had actually reached out to me and told me she was a local librarian, and then she had gotten a reading from Ashley years ago. So she's already familiar with who we were. We sat down, we did some writing. Today, Tasha Nicole reached out to me and she let me know that she had scouted a location for my ongoing Hoodoo Women and Root Workers photography and film project, and she said this is a good place you might be interested in. So Ashley and I drove over to the National State Park. We looked at the beach. It was beautiful. I actually ended up shooting today's video on it, which I will be showing you at some point in this longer video, and it was wonderful. I had a great time. Tomorrow we're going to a museum. On Thursday I'm going to see a movie with Emma and one of her friends, so now I get to meet one of her friends. Emma actually picked me up this morning around 11 o'clock and we went for coffee and breakfast, and then we came back and we bubble wrapped a bunch of orders. I paid her, then I left and I went to my appointment. She took the orders and dropped them off at the United States Postal Service office near her house, and it was perfect, and invited me to the movies, and I'm really excited about it. And then I get to have my Black Lady Equinox dinner party this weekend. It is not as difficult as I think we make it to connect with people, especially since I think most people want to connect. Sometimes you just have to be the one to take the lead, is what I'm finding. And connecting with people who are actually going to add to your quality of life, because it's a quality connection and a quality relationship is important. Now, I have been reading a lot. And like I said, I'm reading The Power of Ritual. But I also came across a recommendation from Ray Bradbury, the author of Fahrenheit 451 and Something Wicked This Way Comes, which is a book I actually want to read this autumn as well. I just picked up a copy recently. But Ray Bradbury recommended for writers that you read one short story every day. So I have a book of short stories that I'm still working through. That's how far I've gotten through. This is the Southern Gothic Romance, the Mammoth Book of Southern Gothic Romance, okay? So a short story, one short story, one poem. This is my favorite book of poems. And one essay. And he recommends that you do this for 1,000 days or nights. 1,000 nights. Read one essay. This is a book of 100 essays. Each essay has a writing prompt at the end. So one essay, one poem, and one short story, to saturate your mind with language and style and writing and characters and dialogue, and just to saturate the mind with ideas and thoughts. And as I'm reading Positive Obsession by Susanna Morris, which is a book about Octavia Estelle Butler, the life and times of Octavia E. Butler, I am really impressed with her absolute obsession with writing. And so that is why I chose writing as my theme and my focus for autumn. I want to be constantly writing. Now, this book, The Book of Alchemy by Suleika Jaoud, this book contains writing prompts for writers. So if you are like, I want to write, but I don't know what to write, then you can read the essay, and at the end of each essay, there is a prompt. Okay. I'm also interested in Healing Through Words by Rupi Kaur. It's a journal. So I think that I will also be working through this journal because I really enjoyed Milk and Honey. I enjoyed Milk and Honey. I don't know if I ever read Homebody. I believe that I own that book. I'm not sure if I ever read that book though, but I loved Milk and Honey for sure. So I'm going to be working through this journal. I'm going to be working through the Book of Alchemy, and I'm going to be finishing up Southern Gothic Romance for my short stories, the Essential Rumi for my poem, and of course I'm going to continue reading Positive Obsession. If you would like to join me, just like I invited you guys to join me for LOFI Fun all summer, and then in springtime scripting. I also was doing a lot of scripting this summer, and it's working beautifully. A lot of my scripting was about friendship, so obviously it's working. But now I want to move into writing. And if you would like to join me, you are more than welcome to join me. I want to give you a word of encouragement from a national state park on the North Shore outside of New Orleans. Thanks for watching.
You can see the sun over there. It's like freaking orange. Or is that the moon?
That's how the sun been lately. This is so beautiful. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? I'm about to be out here. Look at that tree. I need to record something near that tree.
Which one? That one?
This one, the dead one. I need that shit in the background.
You can stop there.
That motherfucker pretty.
I'll pull over.
That know it.
You should talk to it.
Hello, friend.
Now see that one in the back? That's
Also
more
very
my
pretty.
speed.
Also pretty.
I could climb on it and shit.
Oh my goodness.
Then they got the tables and stuff for like picnics.
Without question or hesitation.
I want to see the beach.
Yeah, I want to see the beach too. What are you doing? He caught me. Don't be shaking your head at me.
We're not going to do nothing. There was 3 of them.
I saw that one.
See. My time.
Peace and blessings. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Bossy. Y'all, we is recording from the North Shore. I'm here with Ashley from the Ashe Shop. Ashley here from the Ashe Shop. Child, it's so beautiful out here. I don't know if y'all can hear the lapping of the waves, but I'm just so grateful that Ashley was down to come on this little adventure. She'd been here before, actually, and she said that she had met an alligator the last time her sister came out. But despite that, she was willing to join your girl. So what I wanted to say today is that you can do hard things and that your mind can handle challenging things. I was reading Positive Obsession by Susanna Morris. It is a book on the life and times of Octavia Butler. And Octavia is sharing that she was self-diagnosed dyslexic and had a really hard time reading sometimes, had a hard time in school a lot of times, and that she considered herself to be someone who had more of a radio imagination, so she likes to listen to her books on tape. Last year, one of my subscribers to Bruja's app recommended that I download an app called Libby. So I've been using Libby, and a lot of times I'll do what's called immersive reading, which is you read it on the page and you also listen to it. So if it's available, I will listen to the audio, read it on the page, because I'm a very slow reader. I'm a slow writer. I even feel like I think and talk slow. So in order to still take in the stories and the information that I'm interested in, even though it's hard, and even though I literally have a hard time reading a story or reading anything on the page and grasping it the first time, I still do. Like, I feel like it's worth it to push myself through it, to challenge myself, and to do it anyways. I really do feel like just because it's hard, you know, so... You know what I mean? Just because it's hard doesn't mean that I'm going to avoid this thing that I really, really love. I love the idea of being a voracious reader. I love the practice of being an avid reader. And I love being a writer. So even if I'm sometimes restating things in my journals, like talking about the same things over and over, and it gets a little bit into overthinking, I still allow myself to do that. And I feel encouraged because when I was reading Morris's book on Octavia Butler, she says that Octavia did the same thing. And while her educator sometimes pegged her as lazy, undisciplined, and unfocused, that if she was being brought up in this day and age, she would most likely be neurodivergent. Like, she would be considered neurodivergent and would possibly receive some more support in her learning process. The other thing that really stuck out to me, that is sticking out to me so far, because I'm only in chapter 1 of this book, but the other thing that's sticking out to me is that there were some very real concerns that Octavia expressed about her own mind, her own thinking, and her own ability to learn, and that she, in a sense, felt dumb. Like, could you imagine Octavia Butler feeling dumb? Like, she is so obviously brilliant, so obviously a genius, but she felt she felt not smart. And what she decided to do was to take more control over her own studies and her own learning process, and began to research and look into things that were of interest to her. Like I said, she was listening to books on tape, and she would write to herself, and she did a lot of scripting. She wrote out a lot of affirmations. She wrote to herself that she would become a best-selling author, that she would buy herself a home, that what city she would live in. She wrote these things out for herself over and over and over again. So the fact that, we've been doing scripting all summer. We started earlier this year, but we've been practicing scripting consistently all summer. This is something Octavia did. And a lot of people are creating personal curriculi for themselves right now to combat brain rot, which we talked about in another episode on the LOFI Fun playlist. But people are coming up with their own curriculum, a personal curriculum of things that they're interested in learning about and studying. And this is the exact same thing that Octavia Butler did. So she was reading about psi and telekinesis and like psionic stuff, telekinesis, history, science, and incorporating those into their story. So I wanted to share that with you guys and encourage you that if you are feeling like mentally dull or having a hard time grasping things, remembering things, retaining information, it is okay. Or if you are avoiding certain tasks, especially like reading, writing, and learning related tasks, because you don't have a lot of confidence in your brain right now, it's okay. I think that you should push through it and do it anyways, because your mind can handle the challenge. And like I said on a previous episode, your mind will conform to the new parameters, the new dimensions. It will stretch. It will adapt. The more that you challenge your mind, with these new ideas and concepts and studying, the more your mind will make use of its own capacity. So your mind will catch up, it will understand, it will adapt, it will learn, but only if we keep at it. So that was my message for today. That's the only thing I wanted to share. You want to share anything with the people?
Ashe, ashe, ashe. Get your asses outside today.
Period. I'm about to go over to the French Quarter and see if I can find Blind Boy music again, so I could listen to him play. Y'all take it easy. I love you.